morning, it's me. It is 9:21 a.m. on February 18th, 2025. I just got back not long ago. Well, it's been a little longer now. I got home around 8:30. I had a dentist appointment at 7 a.m. I'm going back in tomorrow to get my tooth repaired. The filling has fallen out. Um, but anyway, there's something that I just wanted to talk to you about real quickly. I'm sitting here with Marv, and she keeps trying to eat my hair. Uh, my baby, good girl. She just loves my hair. So anyway, there's something that I just wanted to talk to you about, and it's something that I didn't get to address in my last live stream about ghosts and dimensional beings and stuff like that. I guess I just got kind of distracted. Um, so I just wanted to talk about the term ghost itself. And it's such a term that's used for such a broad and wide subject, right? Like there's so many components to it and so many different aspects to it. Not everything is an actual ghost. I was comparing it to, when I was thinking about this morning, that because there are so many different um, dimensional beings that we're dealing with, both higher and lower dimensionals, um, in the Quran, they call these entities in the unseen realm Djinn. And Djinn is another term, like they even call the UFOs and the aliens or extraterrestrials Djinn. So this is also a term that has been deemed almost to name the entire. I'm not an expert or anything, but this is just how I know it as of today. It's kind of a word that takes for the entire paranormal supernatural realm, that they are Djinn. So it's very similar of a term. But what I was saying in the beginning is that we have these higher and lower dimensional beings. So there's so many different types of entities, or whatever you want to call it. Some are good, some are not good, some are there. There's so many of different ones for different purposes, right? Just like we all have different likes and different dislikes and things that, attract us and things that repulse us and things like that. It works pretty much the same over there. So, just a second. So in the Bible, it's kind of the same thing, where they call a lot of mostly everything demons. There are the angels there in the Bible as well. And it also talks about that in the Quran. In their creation story, it was the angels created first, then the jinn, then the humans. Which, in a way, this is correct because there were other creations before us. And it's really nice that I found that in there because on my journey, that really helped me to understand that it was trying, or that in the past, it has been to be conveyed to us, even though it might have been manipulated and misinterpreted. Whee! Marv just rolled away. So, you know, it's kind of been like that, and I think it's because it is so complicated that simplifies it. But it all has to do with what comes after. And I think that's why a lot of people can be overwhelmed with it. Because there is so much unknown. Because none of us have ever been there and come back to be able to tell, what's occurred. Well, I mean, like, permanently. Near-death experiences I have listened to many, many times and also have helped me with my understanding and perspective of things. This morning, when I woke up, I read a comment on a video that I had commented on probably about a year ago now, and it was a channel that was talking about the Nosconfunden map. Italian PNC, pretty sure it's called. And he covers the different places on this map and stuff like that. Anyway, so the comment was about Admiral Byrd and the ice wall. And I said, well, because we had been in previous conversation, because there was somebody being not very nice about it, and then I interjected and said, well, you know, the author used this as a creation to express spiritual truth, you know, in short form. And then, you know, this commenter had mentioned about Admiral Byrd and, you know, that expedition and stuff. And I would agree that, you know, something had gone on there. Okay, I don't want to get into all of Operation High Jump, but in the end, I came to realize that Admiral Byrd was a Freemason, most likely, and part of that same group of people that actively hides the honest to God truth from us, okay? In the movie Defending Your Life, I know I'm going all over the place a little bit, but bear with me. In the movie Defending Your Life from 1991, in the trailer of it, they state in the trailer, you hear it loud and clear, that Hollywood has been trying to tell you about the afterlife for a really long time. In the end of The Navigator Crosses the Ice Walls, I believe that's the one it was, William Morris takes some type of injection or a vaccine, okay? Now, I've seen this before, and it helps stabilize the physical body and the spiritual body. I can go a little bit further and direct you to the etherization of the blood because it has to do with your etheric spiritual bodies. There's an example of this physically in a film that I saw, and I understand about its source. It is from the Happy Science films, and I believe it's the one about Hermes. Now, I understand that by definition, Happy Science is a cult. By definition, they were worshiping the leader. It was by definition a cult. Push that aside for a moment. Take the content for the educational value that it has, because it is full of the stuff I've been talking about. The one about the laws of the sun, there's the laws of eternity. The laws of eternity are exactly what I'm talking about, what happens after. Those are the greater colleges and universities. Yeah. There are different types of jobs, different places and realms where they do different things. Okay? And it expresses it really well there. Now, I understand that in the laws of eternity, the creator of it uses, I think, Einstein or something as like his ultimate idea of like the greatest person or the greatest creator. You have to kind of visually give it some interpretation and kind of think about who you would place there. You see what I'm saying? It's all about how the creator feels about these individuals that he used, especially when it comes to Einstein, because I would have chosen Nikola Tesla. You see what I'm saying? I think it's Einstein, I'm pretty sure. And you'll see that if you watch The Laws of Eternity, but it's the one about Hermes, where there's a young fella who gets picked up by somebody who's his distant relative in the future. She comes back in a UFO and crashes in his lawn in the backyard. He has to take this, and so he starts feeling a little bit unwell and wobbly and in and out because his spirit body and etheric body, after she gives him the shot, is like stabilizing so that he can do this dimensional travel they're doing. Okay? Now going back to what I said about William Morris. This indicates to me that at the ice wall, even if there is one, I don't know, I haven't seen it, okay, with my own eyes, so I can't tell you that. But if I were to interpret it and everything that I've just told you, again, I've seen evidence of this with the etherization of the blood. It even talks about, hold on, should have grabbed, I didn't think of it, hold on. Okay. So they talk about it in things like where books that are speaking about extraterrestrial races. I talked about this just the other day. I know exactly what I'm looking for. It's right here. Right here on page 310. It says physical and non-physical humanoid, El, or Elohim. That's a term for higher dimensional beings. Okay? There's a spiritual hierarchy. Now, it mentions this also in something that I came across years ago that has been now deleted. It's gone. But I took pictures of it, and I've made a couple of videos about it. It's called Initiation, and it was through something called Theosophy, which I can't even say it, Theosophical Society was created by Helena Blavatsky, okay? And she wrote this book called The Secret Doctrine. Now, this is called The Secret Doctrine, the Origin and Evolution of the Universe, explained in terms derived from the Vedas, the Hindu concept of cycles development. Forgive me. So, basically what it says in Initiation is that after you go through these stages, there is this certain part where you do this thing called the etherization of the blood, which is a process that goes on in our bodies. It has to do with your blood. I think it has to do with being able to take the ether into the blood, which is what it was like before. But I'm still very hazy on it, okay? I'm very new and I'm just learning myself. So, with the etherization of the blood, what I learned is that this is how we are able, and how these extraterrestrials are able to go from physical bodies back to being spiritual bodies where they're like ghosts and then they're like us, right? So this is what was going on at the end of the Navigator. It crosses the ice walls. You even see that they kind of do this little phasey in and out thing. They don't feel very well and stuff like that when they cross through the border. Now, this can almost be seen like crossing the veil through life and death, you know, passing through the physical world into the spiritual worlds. From everything that I've studied so far, it seems that this is the place where physical existence takes place, where physical life occurs and where we have our physical bodies, but everything else seems to be spirit. And I think they've been trying to interpret this to us in many different ways, in many different places. Even the word planet, if you take off the T, it's plane. So, in the beginning of the Nos Confunden videos now, it says that this is spiritual truth, and that nothing on the channel should be taken as actual fact, you know? It says it right in the beginning of the videos now. It didn't before when I started, but it does now. You see, this was all very shocking and difficult for me to accept and learn myself. I don't mean to make it seem that I'm like dissing on them or putting Noskin down or anything like that, because it's not like that. This was all very difficult for me and shocking, you know? And I was actually believing there was an ice wall and that if I tried hard enough that I could get there and get over it and get out of here. And again, that indicates my desperation to escape. And the only way out of here is dying. And you can't cheat. Like, you can't just go and throw yourself off a bridge. So please don't think that I'm saying that or mean that in any way at all, because you cannot cheat. It's almost like a test or an exam for school. You can't cheat. I mean, you could, but you know, that's maybe a bad example. But you cannot cheat to get there. So there's that. There seems, well, not seems to be, what I've learned is that as far as terms of dimensions, I want to suggest you look at the light spectrum, then at the chakra colors, as it indicates here in this little chart that it's very simple understanding, but I just wanted it to be simple. Oh, there it is. Oop, there it is. And this little thing right here. Whoops, there goes my papers. This little chart. And do you see how it's like dimension 1, 2, and we are in the third, 1, 2, and 3? And then we have 4, which is spirit, the in-between. Then we have the 5th dimension, which is demons. The 6th dimension, angels. And the 7th dimension, heaven. And where the creator resides, basically, okay? But then, we also have this same, but going down. It explains it in an excellent video series that I can link from the Vedic cosmology. It even talks about basically aliens in the UFOs, okay? And just because they have this technology doesn't mean that they have ascended spiritually and emotionally in that way. They ascended technologically or intellectually, but not with the heart. So, and it explains that very well, okay? But this translates also into this. You can find these same type of beings in here. You see? So it's quite a broad topic, you know. But when people say, "Well, I saw a ghost," what I say is, "Well, what did you see? What happened? Did it say anything to you? How did you feel?" Things like that. By doing that, you can kind of narrow it down. At least for me. What else? Hold on. If you'd like to learn more directly about the science behind this, because that's what I needed when I was seeking and, you know, praying, because I did. Oh, please, I really need to know the science behind it. I found Ken Wheeler. I will link the channel below and also my playlist that I made, which includes all of the topics I've ever learned from. Okay? I may not be an expert, I may not be able to articulate things the same. And again, I just want to say that nobody is perfect or an expert that knows all, because no one knows all. So, this is the best I can do with the science. There's also Santos Bonacci, but in the term of ghosts and the metaphysical sciences of it, Ken Wheeler would be your best bet. And that's Theoria Apophysis, or whatever. At least I try. Now, again, no one's perfect, and when you listen to him, he's a little bit, what's the word? Maybe cynical? Because he kind of gets upset about the fact that there's some people that call it cold spots when it's called cold coagulation or whatever the scientific thing that he said. There's a video on it. But really, I mean, it even has cold in the same two things. Just because you can't totally express it or explain it doesn't mean you're a dummy. And you shouldn't be looked upon because you're at least trying, right? So there is those types of things in these videos that he doesn't know all, and that I wouldn't like take everything he says like written in stone law. But it's extremely helpful. It was for me. You know? I think that's important to remember, that even myself, that we all have our own previous experiences and all these things that may, like how I express my feelings about Elena Danaan and Claudio Nocelli and how I had that shocking experience with their work, you know? And it was upsetting for a long time. It caused sickness and depression and frustration, anger, pain, all of that I had to deal with, you know? Betrayal, big time. So, and it's not about revenge or anything. It's just what I'm saying is that I think we are all influenced by certain things. And, well, I'm just thinking about some of the stuff he talks about with demonic possession. But again, I have my own experiences and opinions and feelings on it, and I feel like that's a rare thing. I think that the influence of these lower dimensional, these darker things is definitely there, but actual demonic possession is quite rare. You will have an attachment, but to take over the vessel is rare in my opinion. And he was talking about it like it's been common in his life. And I just found it a bit strange, that's all. Or uncommon for me. No judgments. That's all. Like, he even talked about like the twitching of the head, like what you see in the movies. Like, I I don't know. So again, I'm not trying to diss on anybody. I'm just saying that when you do listen to somebody, don't just take it as law. You always want to reflect on your own experiences, kind of leave room for interpretation later. Because I made that mistake as putting things as law. And then my opinion changed a little bit later. See what I'm saying? So that's all I'm telling you. That's the only warning or advice I give you. Okay, that's the only reason. Okay, well, I talked for a couple hours yesterday on a really cool channel that I had a great time on. It's called Finding Gnosis, and we had a live chat. We had a good time, and I wasn't sure if I was going to join at first yesterday, but then I changed my mind because the conversation was good and I felt comfortable, and it was a really great decision, and I'll most likely do it again. So, yeah, there. That's what I wanted to say, because now I'm going to go back and take a nap because I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know? See, my head just twitched just then. But I'm not possessed by a demon. I have some definite nervous system issues and I just twitch like that. You know? I don't even know if you noticed. Sometimes it's from flicking my hair or whatever, but I'm like, because anyway, it's not like a denial thing or anything, okay? We can go into the Asura another day. I'm tired. My voice hurts. But yeah, I'll title the video Asura and we'll talk all about that. And yeah, that's all I have to say today. And I thank you very much for listening to me. I have some shorts coming out that I've created that I very much appreciate that, you know, you could look at and give me a like, you know? I'd very much appreciate your support, and I very much appreciate all the support I've been given. Thank you very much for being here with me. Thank you very much for being here for me. I will talk to you again soon. I will plan a live stream, and I wish you a great day. Thank you.